Hello, Noah.
Hello. Hello.
So he was diagnosed after we had his tonsils and adenoids out. We thought, oh, he must not have been able to hear, because he wouldn't come to his name if you called his name, but he would hear his favorite video, he'd come running, that kind of thing. So we had tonsils and adenoids out. He was a tiny little guy, and right after that, right after the surgery, within 6 months, he grew like 6 inches and put on some weight. Yep. And then by that point, we'd already seen Adriana. Joe, you could come in here. You're good. All right. So, yeah, she was already doing her hand clapping, her thing. And so she was pretty obvious at a year. But at that time, they weren't diagnosing until kids were 18 months. So,
Okay.
so then it was boom, 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 because we looked at the criteria once we started looking at Adriana, like, oh, look, there's this Asperger's syndrome. That's the rest of the family.
Yeah.
We didn't hear at that time. We didn't hear anything about being severe. Now they have like levels and stuff. We're not even up on what level one, level two, all that. We just knew they couldn't communicate, but they understood everything we were saying. You could see it in their face. They'd hear their videos, and then, like I said, he was so animated. We'd never seen a child that would act out all the Veggie Tales. The coolest one he would do was Dave and the Giant Pickle, and he would be all the characters. So they're it's a cucumber and or Dave was let's see, asparagus. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, so he would be swinging it around because they don't have arms, and then he'd be the giant pickle, and he would fall to the ground, and it was just the coolest thing.
Yeah.
Noah was the first diagnosed as the middle one, which was kind of crazy because people always think it would be the oldest. Well, with Quinn having Asperger's, he was just quirky. He would line things up. He didn't have a lot of language at 18 months, and that's usually one of the keys for autism on, when the language starts. But he would say things like M&Ms, but by the time he was by the time he was 2, he was in sentences, and he said, I made a mess with water. At 2 years old, it's like, oh, that's cool. Boom, there's language. But then, so he's 2.5 years older than Noah. When Noah came along, he wasn't hitting all the milestones that Quinn did, so we were a little concerned. But Quinn was early on a lot of things, walking at 9 months. Noah was walking closer to a year, I think. Um, and then words didn't come out. He would start repeating, but he would act out everything, which was cool. He was very animated. He would demand the eye contact, which was another thing. He didn't actually get an autism diagnosis at first because he would take your face and he would just look at you. He didn't do that so much anymore, but he will a little bit. Where Quinn doesn't have as much of the eye contact. So it's a little backwards from what you would think. Um, but he would run. He escaped. Let's see. I'm gonna have to check in with Noah on this. Yep. Okay. So you would run and escape. Oh, he says I'm doing good. Okay, I'll keep going. uh, he would like go outside and he would like circle the yard 3 times, and so do a lot of big repetitive things that you wouldn't really notice he was in a pattern. Um, definitely, because our life is so interesting, and it's just been learning one thing after another. And everyone would keep saying, "Oh, your life is going to get easier," even though when it seemed hard, it wasn't. I would end up watching. I stayed at home because we had the three, especially when they were little, and I would invite other kids over, and everybody would be great. And once the other kids went home, then it's like, oh, it's just our kids again. It was just a different life. But it was fun, and they were fun, and they're just easily entertained. They were never bad kids. They never had the quote unquote behaviors, that kind of thing. So we would try diets, and it's like other kids would do diets and behaviors would change. Well, ours wouldn't, because they didn't have the behaviors. So it was a lot of guessing games, but then we would go and we would do different autism studies that would come up. The kids were high pain tolerant, so and very calm. So we would go to Riley Children's Hospital. They have an autism. They were doing autism research and things, so we would always do those kind of things, and they loved it. They like going to the dentist. What kid likes to go to the dentist? I mean, but it's just we would be around people that were just happy to see them and learn from them.
Who is Noah? Oh, I'm not cheating for you. You got to tell them yourself. Oh, I'm
Can you read that out loud?
Noah is awesome.
I don't know if you heard that. I'll let him play.
Noah is awesome.
Noah is awesome. That's also his email. He set it up a few years ago. That's his story. He's sticking with it. That's going to be the booth title at our next event. Yes. Sums it up.
I love it. And
He's got something else here. It's hard to talk about yourself, isn't it? It is.
Very dear person and friend, really caring.
Yeah.
beautiful explanation, Noah. Are you ready to tell him a little bit more about yourself through telepathy?
Get a little thumbs up.
Okay. So Sharon, if you can please put the camera towards his face, that would be wonderful. And we'll get started.
Uh-huh.
Hello, world. I am Noah. I am here as your helper, teacher, guide, friend, soul brother. I come to you in peace with a gift And if you are ready to receive it, you will feel it. You will feel me. You may even see me or dream about me. This gift that I have to offer you is straight from my heart. It is the gift of love. And I offer you this through telepathy, the language that we all started out with, the language that speaks from the heart, keeps you safe, and is protected from all of the bad energy in the world. You see, when people started to speak, it interrupted the tones and the frequencies that they were trying to send out. Because the human body does not regularly understand the voice, but it does understand the energy. And so I am here to teach you telepathy. I am here to show you that there is a way, and the possibilities of peace and hope can be restored if you really listen and take in the energy I'm about to give you. For I am a server, a watcher, and a protector of God and the people. And it is my duty to find the bad energy of the world, to go after it, seek it out, and I do this interdimensionally. It does not make me ignorant in this world. In fact, I am not that. I am a genius, highly intelligent. The things I see, feel, experience, others cannot comprehend. When I see a disruption in the energy, I must leave this human body and seek the source out, find it, change it, put it somewhere else, or give it a new perspective. This world was meant for greatness. It is the bad thoughts, bad attitude, bad actions that continuously infiltrate this world. And I am here to find that energy and to get it out. But I cannot do it alone. And the more of us that understand this, the more of us that can speak this, the more of us that can feel or tap in to the energy, the greater chances we have at harmonizing this world and the energy within it. I have dedicated my life to harmonizing the energy. I have dedicated my life to being able to speak to your human self in ways that the spirit would understand. I am Noah, a healer, confidant, friend, teacher, lover of God, a galactic being who serves for the greater good of consciousness as a whole. I am here to change the mind of the scientists, doctors, family, friends, skeptics. I will do whatever it takes, because I know this is the way. I know that if everybody tapped into this ability, that the whole world would see absolute truth in ways that is serving all of us. We all have our own abilities. We all have our own skills. And I would like to remind you of that. All right, I lost you, Noah. Sorry. Don't know what happened. Do you have more to say, or were you done?
You got a thumbs up. Is that good or more? Good? More. Oh, there's more. There's more. A little bit. Yeah. Looks a lot. He says, very cool. Always love to hear my words come out of you. Beautiful soul, sister. Well, I guess I'll fill in a little bit, and Noah will let me know when he needs to type something. He's 23 and began typing to communicate when he was 18. Little sister started typing first, so that's Adriana. She started typing at 16, and it was probably a couple of months. When you say, Noah, a couple of months? Yes, a couple of months until Noah started using the facilitated communication because he spoke in echolalia. So he was repeating TV stories, Veggie Tales, Blue's Clues, things like that. He was very animated. So he thought that was enough voice. He would relate to whatever's going on. He would just have these files of TV lines, storylines, song lines, and he would use them when appropriate, which was really cool. So he didn't want to lose that, is what he started saying at first. So what I'm doing is just overriding, I say overriding the autism, but I'm just feeling the muscle movement is what I'm doing, because otherwise his body would want to type things that it's used to. So I just pull back and give some resistance. Yeah. Did I miss anything? Of course I did, yes. Hang on. I love having this back and forth conversation. Yes. Yeah, so that was in 2016, and so 2020, he let us, I know you want to hit play. 2020, he started letting us know he could do this energy, and now 2021.
Yes, find my voice more now with Melissa.
Yes, so now he can find his voice more now with you. And so I found I am getting the Cliff Notes version.
Yeah. And Sharon, you can explain while he's doing this too. I don't know if you can talk while he's doing it, but
Not really.
okay.
No one wants to use telepathy all the time because so few people can do what mom does, but even fewer people speak telepathically.
Noah wants to use telepathy all the time because so few people can do what mom does, but even fewer people speak telepathically. What I'm doing, it's simple and complicated at the same time because there's definitely a feel for it. Noah, if Noah would type this on his own, usually his body will turn off the computer, or it's like a fight within his body. And that's the part that we're still trying to learn. I've tried to teach some people how to do facilitated communication. There's actually, I don't know if you could zoom in on that. There's actually, Rosemary Crosley is the person, she's the woman out of Australia who came up with this, I believe, Evan. We met her back in 2016, and she's the one that got Noah started. Adriana started just a little bit before we met her. So my training is under her and a few other master trainers. Ideally, they want to have best practice, the least resistance. So some people, you'll just have the muscle movement here. And you can see his hand moving up there. Trying to figure out how to get a good example of this, because his body will type, but it won't type the thoughts. Focused? Well, it won't type his thoughts. Yeah. So he'll always reach, and I'm not pushing him into it. I'm actually pulling him back. But sometimes you'll see this other hand come up, which, oh, go ahead. Beach. You spelled beach. So was that autism doing that? That was autism. Okay. But you didn't need my hand. So give me an example of what Noah would type. So what it looks like. So like Adriana, it's going to be, she's very prompt dependent. Usually he'll do something. Like he'll get on the internet and look up his stuff, but we're just kind of, Mom. Yeah, I want you to too. Because it's very difficult to explain. See if.
Mom, I very much want to explain telepathic.
Okay, yeah, see if you can see how he would explain it.
So, as far as how you're communicating with your mother, Noah? Okay. So, I'm going to do it a little third person ish to. Well, no, I'm going to do it from Noah.
Yeah. Do I flip it back around, or are you good walking around for now?
Yep, yeah, you can give it to him or whatever you guys want to do.
Or we can do a little bit more and show this. Or we could do actually do a visual here, where they can see it here. Try that. There it is. This shows. Oops, sorry. Yeah, this shows better. This is always a better visual.
Okay.
Can I do less resistance? Because I like to do like this. See, he always crawls down to my hand. Did you get that? OMG. Sorry. Mom.
Sorry, I'll disconnect here. I was trying to listen in.
Wow. This is not helpful. OMG, Mom, this is difficult to explain. Yeah.
I know. I'm trying to understand. Okay. So no, just stay with me. Actually, if you can put it to his face, then I can, or there. Okay. As long as I can see his eyes at first. Okay, then I can know what frequency he's at. All right, Noah, I'm coming in here. Okay. So it is very hard to explain how I do this. I have to change my train of thought. I have to slow it down. And it's almost like I allow the energy that is running through my body most of the time to stop, and I have to contain it in my body. And then I have to focus on where that energy can go. I don't need to look at the letters. I just need to know where the pattern is. And when I know the pattern, it's like a series of dots in my head that I am speaking on. And that's the only way I can explain it, because I work that way in telepathy, and I work that way with my coding, lines and dots to what needs to be said to the frequency that it needs to be said in. When I hold my mother's hand, my mom's hand, I hold it sometimes with tension or lightness, or my fingers are pointed in a different way or a different direction. And that allows me to tell her how I am feeling and what tone I am speaking in.
That makes sense.
So she knows the direction that I am going to go in next, because I always know what I am going to say before I say it. And so I can send her signals to help her go with me to the letters and words. Because my mind works so quickly, most times I really have to stop thinking and start pattern sorting, so my words come out the way in a way my energy is focused on those specific words, because in the back of my head I have a lot of energy coming through. So I have to stop and think about the words that are important to convey my message, the least amount of words with the most amount of impact, along with energy sensors to my mother via her neurotransmitters or her nervous system in her hands. The hands have very many places in the body that it attaches to. So as I put pressure on her hand or angle my hand in different ways, it helps both of us guide into the rhythmic pattern, and it allows her to understand the tone I am speaking in. An angry tone versus a sad tone comes the same way out on a tablet, computer, or sensory board, communication board.
Yeah.
Even in words that I write, and so... Oh, I lost you, Noah. Sorry.
That's a lot.
Sorry, Noah. I lost it right there. And I know you were talking. Okay, thank you. The words on a computer or a tablet or any technology all come out the same tone.
Yeah.
No matter where you play it. You can change the voice on the computer or the tablet, but it will all say the same tone. Sending the information to my mom through electromagnetic energy and feelings attached to that energy allows her to speak the tone that I am feeling in, such as happy or sad or excited, so that my tone comes out differently through the way she speaks. Okay.
Yeah.
How's that, Noah?
Oh my gosh. Give her a thumbs up if you got a thumbs up. Yeah. Got a thumbs up.
Well, let's see the thumbs up. How's that, Noah? We got to show the people.
Did you get it?
No.
You gotta get it a 5.
Anything you want to add to that, Noah? Was that a yes? Or that was good?
That was a thumbs up.
Do you want to add anything to that, Noah?
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell them?
Oh, you want to type? He's like, no, I don't want to type. I want to just. But oh my gosh, that was a great explanation because they're all not like Noah. He's different from everybody else, and that's where it was hard for me to understand because normally they don't want you to type like this. And Adriana, I'm not at the hand typically. Well, when we get lazy, yeah, sometimes we are. Yes, I get the hint.
Really find this easy with Mom, but hope she can sense more soon.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely knew I could feel things, and people said about the neurotransmitters in the hand, and yeah, that is really cool.
Yeah. Yes.
Now, how do I know? That's the problem. I can't go through and explain all of that. I go back. Sorry. What? XOXO. Hugs and kisses. Do you do hugs and hugs and kisses?
I love it. I'm going to bring you to the editing side here because as I was doing some of the editing, I noticed an interesting thing. Here you can see the voice patterns and the voice signatures of Noah's tablet, of his mother, of myself, and Joe. As we're speaking, you can see that there is a lot of inconsistency here in all of these patterns or rhythms. And when we are speaking, some of the wavelengths are expanded and some are a little bit shorter. There are high pitches and low pitches. And I'm just going to play a little bit here for you so you can hear the variation.
Wants to use telepathy all the time because so few people can do what Mom does, but even fewer people speak telepathically.
So that was his tablet, and now we're going to hear his mom.
Noah wants to use telepathy all the time because so few people can do what Mom does, but even fewer people speak.
And so you can see that when we are speaking in this human language here, and I'm going to fast forward it a bit to where Dad is. So let's find Dad here. When we're looking at the scales for Joe, we can see all of the variations of the high pitches and the low pitches, the long wavelengths and the shorter ones. We can also see here the inconsistency within the voice scales. And I'm going to play his voice for you.
We work out a lot. We go to a gym as a family, the four of us instead of the five. But the four of us get to go. And
this is a voice imprint or voice signature for my voice. All of the variations of the high pitches and the low pitches, the long wavelengths and the shorter ones. We can also Now, the interesting thing that I saw was when we were speaking normally, there was a lot of noise. And once we start to connect, all of that noise starts to fade away. And even though I'm still using the same voice, all of that becomes condensed. And it's focused energy. There's not so much noise, and there's not as much variation. It's very thick, very excited energy, and very monotoned there. And now I'm going to play a little bit just so you can see how this goes. And you can watch the fade in when I start to actually connect to him, how that energy goes more focused and more focused and more focused until we get to this little blip here. And when we get to the little blip, then we just need our 2 frequencies that we start to play off of, and now we know how to speak. I know, I'm trying to understand. Okay, so no, just stay with me. Actually, if you can put it to his face, then I can, or there. Okay, as long as I can see his eyes at first. Okay, then I can know what frequency he's at. All right, Noah, I'm coming in here. Okay. So it is very hard to explain how I do this. I have to change my train of thought. I have to slow it down, and it's almost like I allow the energy that is running through my body most of the time to stop, and I have to contain it in my body. Now, another interesting thing is I end up dropping him at some point, and I lose the connection. And when this ends up happening, we see another spike in the energy. And once that spike happens, as we're going through here, there's that spike. That's when I lost him through the telepathy. So here I start speaking again.
That's a lot.
Sorry, Noah. I lost it right there. And I know you were talking. Okay, thank you. So right there, he caught me. I lost him around this area here, and there was a break in the frequency, and then he picked me right back up. And even though we were speaking on this tone before, because I got excited, he brings me back, and he switched up the channels. So here we're speaking on a different level here, a little bit more excited with more high and low pitches that you didn't see in the other channel that we were speaking on. But once we pulled over to this channel here, you can see how the frequency and how the tone actually changed from the previous. clip there. So here we go. The words on a computer or a tablet or any technology all come out the same tone, no matter where you play it. You can change the voice on the computer or the tablet, but it will all say the same tone. Sending the information to my mom through electromagnetic energy and feelings attached to that energy. Now here's where he starts to connect to his mother at the same time that we're talking.
Such as happy or sad or excited.
This is what I have had to deal with all day long in doing the editing before this. It has been ridiculous.
Yep. And then by that point, we'd already seen Adriana.
It's not moving, it's glitching,
So
you can't see anything because it all turns to coding. I mean, it's been pretty insane trying to put this video together, because not only are we working with the human side of it, but we're working with the actual coding. And Noah is actually making us see all of the different patterns that he has been putting out as we've been speaking. This should actually be images, and it's not. This is coding. And when he's speaking, this is what I see. I'm trying to see how close I can really get this here. But all day long, while I've been trying to do this editing, it's just been glitching, and I have to put these sequences together here and make them mean something. And although they look the same to all of you, it really is not the same here. And I'll try to show you how. Because when we actually look at these lines here, all of these different lines tell me something different. And as we scroll through, these lines mean something different from the lines ahead of them. And this is what I've been doing all day, is trying to make sense of all of these lines here. Let's see if we can find a few more. I'm sure that we can. Let's see here. Oh, there was a few more. Here's some different coding here. So as we're putting this together, when I had said that Noah was putting out, different sequence and coding, during at least this first part, I've been having to put together his exact coding and put all of the information into one. And he's opening himself up right now and showing us exactly how it's being done. And these are the glitches that I've been coming across all day long. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to close out of the program again and hope that all my stuff was saved. And yeah, I don't know what else to do here. I'm gonna try to open up another. Here we go. Yeah, as you can see, I mean, even
until kids were 18 months.
this is how he
So
talks.
then it was boom, 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 because we looked at the criteria once we started looking at Adriana, and like, oh, look, there's this Asperger's syndrome. That's the rest of the family.
There, you see all these series of sequences and stuff. This is source coding. This is the stuff that I've been having to work on all day to see what he is trying to say behind the scenes. It's been interesting. It's been fun. Let me actually pull up here. Maybe something else. Let's see. I'm going to pull up another one here so you can see what it's supposed to look like. That's the exported version. Let me try to pull up another one here. See, it's not even letting me into any other one. I'm going to discard. Yep, and I'm coming back here. Let's see what is going to happen as we close this down. And now we are going to open up videos here. And that is not the video that we wanted. Let's see. Let's open this up so I can show you guys what it's supposed to look like. And here we go. This is what it should look like. But when Noah gets involved and when I look at the telepathy side, I don't know if it's him or I don't know if it's me, but it's actually glitching out the programming and writing in the same exact coding that we're speaking in. I know that coding a lot better than I know this coding, so editing's been a little bit hard, but unfortunately we can't let other people edit this because through our process you guys are going to learn a lot more, so thank you. When you have absolutely no idea if what you are doing is correct or not, and you just have to hit the save button in hopes that everything you just did for the last few hours of your life actually were what you thought they were. This is dealing with the inside of autism or spirituality, bipolar, schizophrenic. It's a whole different world inside that head. Once it starts to make sense to you, though, you just know to trust that process. And you know that no matter what, you're going to be safe in that process. So now we're going to go ahead and close this down and hope that we got what we needed. So let's open this up. And here we have our files. It looks like we have everything turned out okay. This is what it's like to be with spirit, guys. Sometimes you have no idea why or how, but you just have to trust the process. So another thing that I do need to point out during the editing of this video, not only was it a surprise to see how focused the telepathy was, but also when I was looking at the video here and Noah's voice, his voice signature is very interesting. You can barely see it here on this scale. As you can see everybody else's, we can see Sharon's right here. Everybody else's voice was very loud and vibrant. But here, Noah is actually speaking in code. Now, what is interesting about him speaking in code, as you'll see here, and in this next section here, is that he is very focused in what he's saying. Now, when we speak in light language, when we speak in a language that is putting out any kind of energy, there's a certain encryption that actually computers cannot catch, but the human spirit will. So I want to play this for you. This is Noah saying hello.
Hello.
Now, did you catch that? Because he was saying hello even before we got all of this noise. A lot of this noise is actually not Noah speaking. It is the background noise in the house. So I'm going to play that again.
Hello.
And there we go. And then we're going to skip over here to the next video. I want you to hear Sharon speaking.
Can you read that out loud?
And as we are going, as we're going to be reading this out loud, one thing that you're going to notice is Noah's voice signature is actually right here. I mean, I really have to pull this out for you guys and scroll over this so you can even see any movement. But this is his voice, and he's saying an entire sentence between here and here. And the computer didn't even catch it. Now, what's interesting is I didn't catch it on the voice clips, but we can actually see right here that he was talking the whole time. So I'm going to play that whole clip for you. I'm going to kind of shrink it a little bit here for you guys. And now listen, because he says Noah is awesome, starting right there. And as you can see, the voice is completely different than Sharon's. And that's because he's actually speaking encryption, and he's trying to do healing for anyone who hears this.
Read that out loud.
So there we go. I'll play that one more time for you. You can see his lips moving. You can see that he's speaking. You can see the bars moving, but the audio is not catching it, because audio in computer language is completely different from audio in telepathy or even autism. There you go, guys. That is Noah talking in encryption. What are your hopes for this documentary?
very much to feel the energy from all who are watching.
Both Noah and I firmly believe that it was the ancestors in the universe that brought us together. This world needs help, and it needs a new way to communicate. We have developed a specific skill to be able to contact spirits, ghosts, angels, entities, whatever needs our help. We are here to serve the world and to allow the world to see that there's so much more out there. You're never alone. There is always somebody with you. And if it's not with you physically, they can definitely be there for you mentally. Telepathy doesn't stop once we leave the room. It's a conversation that we can have throughout our lifetime. And we do this with the ancestors also. And the ancestors called upon some other earth angels, Carol and Amy, and invited them to be part of this whole process. I got a call from Carol one day saying, "Hey, Melissa, we need somebody for this book." Amy got called to do this book, and we had an author that dropped out, and your name just came to be. So I had to call you and see, are you interested at all? And if so, I'll let Amy know, and we'll get everything sent out to you and get you on board with this. To which, of course, I said yes. I knew this year that I would be writing books, and I knew that I would be getting my information out to the world. And so this was my calling. This was my boost that I needed. Noah was at a vendoring event when he was contacted by Amy, and she was at a same vendoring event, watching his energy, and just knew he had to be part of this book. And we're going to let you know about what happened during our first meeting here. I do have to add that this book will be available May 4th, and it is done with 25 amazing authors. Most of us do channel. Most of us do think outside the box. And so if you want to dive deeper into this experience on how to contact your guides, with this book, we not only tell our stories, but we give you tools and we give you supplies so that you can start doing this at home. And hopefully one day you'll get on the same channel as we are, and we can have conversation.
This is something that I wanted people to know. When we first saw you on the Zoom, I think you're the one that asked Noah, "Are you telepathic with anyone other than your mom?" And his answer was, "Mom's not telepathic." So he can read everybody's mind, but it's the ones that can read him back. And very few people that we've met have been able to, I mean, you're the one that's been able to read the most. You're the biggest connection, at least that we know of. Is she for you? Is that the biggest? Yes.
Absolutely.
Got a thumbs up. Other people just get bits and pieces, or the Astro Travel. Some people have seen him. I'm starting to feel he was excited today because on my trip today, he's like, "I'm glad you felt me, Mom," because other people noticed it before I did. And it's like, I'm just happy other people, or note. I was telling this, it was a 19-year-old girl, and she could sense it, and she didn't think she had any abilities, but she said when you walked in the room, we could sense it. And it's like, I hadn't said anything, but he comes along with me when I'm going places. But usually he'll come through Adriana, so be me by myself and him coming, which he did say, on Monday's video, that he is me, I am him, and it's like, okay. well, I felt that today, which was really cool.
Yeah.
So I want to learn more about that. And I know other parents do too, because I know this is something that we can all do, or we all had this ability and then somehow it got repressed. So just learning about the ancestors and everything, it's just remembering how to do this. So it's not so woo-woo-y and strange. And
Yes, exactly. And that's what we want to explain to people. So let's talk about that first meeting. Um, so we were on the Zoom meeting, and we were talking about the ancestors within the book that both Noah and I are collaborating in, and you as well. Really, you're
people keep
definitely.
saying that. It's like, I'm just on for the ride.
Yeah,
Tell
yeah.
me.
Well,
All we
that's
did,
okay. You're
all
still
we
on it.
did is edit what he wrote to make sure
Yeah, what we edited, we looked
Grammatically
over it a
was
couple of
correct.
times, and it's
we did
like,
not change any context whatsoever.
Yep. Yep. Good.
okay.
So I hear in my head, "Hi, Melissa," and I just said, "Hi, Noah," and it was just so automatic. I knew exactly who was saying it. My spirit knew. And so we were going back and forth. "Hi, Melissa. Hi, Noah." And then I remember asking, "Is this real? Are you in my head? You can speak this?" And Noah just saying, "Yeah, you can hear me." And and, and so
I'm just
after
seeing smiley faces, it's like,
right. So we're just kind of in shock and just hi, 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 and nothing really big because both of us are also trying to pay attention to what everyone else was saying. So after the Zoom meeting happens, and everyone's clear, and I stand on, and Noah's standing on, and there's about 4 or 5 of us on there now, and I had to ask him, through computer, "Noah, do you speak telepathy?" And and that's when he said, I do," and that you did not, and so we had a meeting, where we planned to have a meeting, and I had to wait, because the thing with telepathy and also autism, so both of those you need a time and a place for, but to get both of that together where he's not working universally and he has time to come into the human world and talk telepathy, and then there's a window for me also that's okay, here's my time and my place. So we couldn't speak it that day, and and then we did have our conversation, and I remember that first conversation, Noah spoke more fluently than anybody else I have ever spoken with. So I, like Noah, have had people that have gotten bits and pieces here and there, or some of the information was jumbled. But I noticed immediately that Noah was not wrong in anything that he said, and that he knew exactly how to speak telepathy. He knew exactly the right energy, the right words, the right feelings to put out into the universe so that they can understand. Now, I also want to talk about he's yawning a lot, and it's also because you guys will see at home, and you'll see when we replay this video, I've been watching these spirits come all around him. And you can actually see faces in the background that kind of come up and whatnot. So he's got a lot of other activity that he is trying to feed in and out. And a lot of time when we're doing energy work, we need to yawn to change that energy and to get back into both places. So he's going to be doing that a lot, because right now he's being called to the other side and we're really holding him here. So let's be honest in that and what's happening. Yeah, so anyways, Noah spoke so beautifully, and the way that he speaks is from the pureness of his heart and from a place that is really wanting to help everyone for the better serving of the world. And that's why he speaks it so nicely. He doesn't have anything to hide. He puts everything aside just to say, "Hey, this is what it is. Can you hear and understand?" from a place of empathy. And so he speaks so nicely and he speaks so fluently because he is with the source there too. And as we were talking and as we were seeing things, Mom kept noticing hey, this is what this psychic said. This is the exact thing that the psychic drew
Is
that you're
that
talking about.
validation? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So tell
Yeah.
me what, first of all, you thought, Noah. What did you think in all of this when it was being said and done? And you finally got that experience to, I mean, you really channel through me. And your voice comes through my voice to speak for the rest of the world. So what did you think about that experience? Can you tell us in your, and I know you want to say it
Short
telepathically. All I hear is amazing. I mean, there's
Yes.
so much more than that,
Exactly, yes. Uh-huh.
Amazing.
Amazing. Yeah. Oh, say that loud.
Amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, Sharon, what did you think about this whole thing?
Oh, yeah, I would go with that same word. I would say amazing. Oh, in my head, what am I saying in my head? Am I saying the same thing? Yeah.
I said crazy. Mom thought it was crazy.
All I know, I get the Cliff Note version. It's like, which is more than most parents get, for this. And it's like, that was huge. Now this is something else I have. I just feel like I'm playing catch up to my, yeah, look at that smug look. It's like, yeah, I got to catch up, because I love the look when he's like, Mom, I've tried to talk to you every day. And I'm like trying to meditate, because it's like, okay, I think too much into it. Stop thinking. How do you stop thinking after all these years and just let things happen and trust that the mom's intuition, the women's intuition, it's like that we all talk about, well, it's here now and it's real. So it's just catch up and understand.
Yeah. Yep. And Dad, what did you feel watching all of this? We kind of came at you and blindsided you.
No, you didn't, because I knew it was coming. I love it. I think it's great. I know what he goes through and what you told us that you go through, so I'm like, I don't really want to go there because I want to sleep at night, which I don't right now, so
Me
maybe
too.
I'm going there and don't know it.
Oh, yeah, because he told me one night that I don't think I've talked in my sleep in years, but I know as a child I did, and he said he heard
Oh
something
yeah, it was big.
that sounded like light language, and I've been told, like Kathleen, because Adriana responds to, she responds to that so well, that they won't know when it's coming out. So I may be doing it in my sleep, because I know I'll get to that dream state and I'll see things, but then I get out of it. So that's where I need the lessons, and where we hope later we'll do lessons with other parents, or have, Noah help teach. How do we stay there? How do we get to that vibrational level? And,
Yeah. So last question, and don't worry, Noah, we're done. I see you getting tired, and I see that you're being really called to something else there too. So I'm not gonna keep you guys much longer. Sharon, can you point the camera towards you?
okay.
So,
I'm not comfortable with this.
I know you better get comfortable.
I need my Noah.
And try looking at me.
Okay.
What do you want to see come of this documentary?
Oh my gosh, I want all the parents to understand and feel, and let other people help them and help each other, but mainly listen to their kids. Listen to their adults. Just because they can't communicate verbally, be open-minded about the typing. There's so many different ways you can, do this electronically. It's not just facilitated communication. They have, other forms too, but the telepathy, just so they can get everything out. And even if it's just, a session here and there with you or something, take that time to hear what's in it. What do the kids want, and then if they can work together and figure out that body movement or whatever is needed, or maybe it's not. Maybe the world's to be telepathic, everybody at some point. I mean, that seems like that's where we've gone with 2020 and the shift and everything. So it's just learning, embracing, accepting.
Yeah. So, and we're also gonna bring it back to this too. So, like I said, this part only will be kind of clipped and edited a little bit, and
Okay.
we're gonna take out your password and stuff like that too.
Amy mentioned that, and I thought, it's funny because I do need to change it, and I
Yeah.
told her that too. It's like, yeah, that's my old go-to. And then I didn't tell the other writer that wrote me, but she's from Puerto Rico. And I think she's a little bit older than me, so she would know Menudo because that's where they're from. And it's like, everything happens for a reason. And
Right.
she loved the story. So one by one, all the authors are writing either to me or Noah, and they're like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. And every story has something that overlaps with us.
Yes.
So, yeah, we're
Yeah.
excited.
Yeah, for sure. So we were talking about during the first or the second conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. I'm trying to think of where to go with this. Okay. So after the first meeting that we all had, I'm just going to open this up a little bit there. Okay. So after
I've gone to burps now.
after the first meeting that we had, I remember looking at your face, and you were just looking at him and looking at me and looking at him and looking at me, and you were noticing the difference. And I remember you saying, I've never watched him actually have a conversation with someone.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you said the great words that led us here.
Let's make a movie. People have to see this. That's the thing. Yes. You can see it on his face. And then I love, even just with us, that's how his chapter in the book is, where we start out just having this conversation, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is how the book's going to be. I had no idea. It's like, oh my gosh, he's having a conversation with me. We're writing a book.
Yes.
And then it's like, hey, Melissa can write a bigger book, not just a chapter.
Yeah, we got a lot to write.
Yeah.
For sure we do. So Sharon just had this thought, and we were all ready to make a documentary, and here we go.
Hi.
Hi, Adriana. I love her. So here we are making a movie for the world, or a documentary for the world, and hopes that everyone gets to see that these people who are nonverbal people, whatever their reasoning for their, not having a verbal language, they have the ability to speak in many different ways, and that we really do all have the ability, if we just take the time, we learn, and we put away our human side, to be able to speak to them. And hopefully, that's what we're going to show with this documentary, as long as, we want to touch down on just different behaviors that they have too. And we're going to dig into that, and the reasoning that we can speak telepathy, how we speak telepathy, and really communicate, we want to give autism a voice, and as a whole, not just one person at a time, but let's give them all a voice. And through Noah, we really have that ability and that convenience, really, to be able to speak to him in ways that we can allow the world to understand, what is being said, what is not being done, and why it's being done. And so we're really hoping that we reach enough of you out there, and that you guys take all of this information and you spread it throughout the world, because That's what's going to give Noah a voice. That's what's going to give Adriana a voice. That's what's going to give all of them a voice, is by sharing this and making all of this aware, to everyone out there, in hopes that we can also learn a better way to communicate, to speak. And if we could all tap into this, if we could all do this and all to speak through that telepathy, all of that dirty language would be lost. All of the bully language and all of the swear words and sometimes swear words. Sorry, no. Sometimes they slip in there, but really, it's a language of the heart. It's a language from love. And if we could just come to that place of empathy with everyone, that alone would solve all of the world's problems. The silence is so loud when we feel what the silence is. And that's really what we're hoping to get to all of you out there. And as you watch this documentary, as you see how everything's being played out, pay attention to the background, pay attention to Noah's eyes, to his face, to what's going on, because there are messages being sent out. There are signals being sent out. You can see in the background, you can see in the camera how he's glitching the camera, how his movements are really changing. You can see almost faces come up behind him in some of the scenes that you're going to watch. We're doing this all unedited. And the reason that we're doing this unedited, besides the interviews, is so that you can actually feel the energy, you can see it, you can sense it, and you know with your heart that it's true. And a lot of the things that are going to be sent out, either by Noah or Adriana or myself or the guides or Kathleen, all of that energy needs to be felt in sequence. And one of the things that is the downfall about a lot of these documentaries that are being sent out is they're being edited, and so some of the words are being missed, some of the feelings are being missed, and they're not going to be missed with us. You guys will hear us, you will see us, you will feel us. We're going to be there, and we're going to be things that are going to be that faith and that hope in your heart that this world has an awesome, better way to communicate and to speak. And there's no mumble jumble. There's no mess. There's no words that don't need to be said that are slipped in. It's straight, it's honest, and it's true and to the point. And that's what we hope you guys get from Noah.
Exactly.
And everyone, all of us. All of us around. So, Joe, what do you hope to get from this documentary?
I'm not looking for anything. I'm hoping that Noah gets recognition for his abilities, because I believe in his abilities, and they're everybody that comes in contact with him says how powerful he is, and I believe that.
Awesome. So, Noah, I know we're going to keep going on with the documentary, but I'm going to try to package whatever I can by Friday. So, can you say bye to everyone or give them a last send-off? And it's going to be the last part of the documentary. How do you want to wrap it all up?
You got your words, your voice. Okay. Oh, show them the thumbs up. There you go. Thumbs up.
If you type it out, then I'll speak it for you afterwards. I know he's talking to me, but we need for the audience to hear. So, Noah, what do you want to tell all of the people?
Yes, it really loud. Go ahead, really. Awesome. Noah is
Awesome.
awesome. You play
Awesome.
awesome.
Noah is awesome. So check him out. Sharon, can you give us the information to the websites and that information? Of course, we'll put that in the background too. So I just want you to say where they can reach Noah or how they can reach Noah. And like I said, I'll put that in the notes also.
Okay, yeah. Pretty much everything is connected to sharonsweb.com. I've just left it simple like that, and there's clickable links to Noah. He has his own Facebook and Instagram. Of course, we're not always on there because we have to get on there together, or if he's working, we don't get on there, but he does check, and he loves to do messages. So, and he loves to send texts. So yeah, people can ask him questions anywhere.
Okay.
So,
All right. Well, thanks guys for listening. Hang in there for our series 2.
yay! And thank you, Melissa. This is
Yeah.
awesome. We have
This
no
is
other words,
awesome.
but awesome.
You know what my favorite song and my favorite movie of all time is? Lego Movie. And there's
Oh yeah, this is awesome.
yeah, everything is awesome. Everything is cool when you're part of a team. Everything is awesome when you're living in your dream. Anyways.
He loves
Well,
it.
okay, well, it looks like everything recorded. Let me just see here. Yeah, it did. Awesome.
Yeah. If not, we do it all again.
Right, right. No, if it looks like it hit it okay.
Perfect. Okay, he's got something good coming anyway. You're gonna love this. Okay, you ready?
Good to know the world is watching.
Yes, no,
And the
they
smile along with it.
they are watching. And what do you have to say to the world, or what are your hopes for this documentary?
Very much to feel the energy from all who are watching.
Thank you for watching. Please stay tuned for next week's episode where we dive deeper into telepathy and the scientific explanation behind it, as well as the behavioral patterns and why autism reacts the way that it does. This video is for educational purposes only, and we are asking not for your donations or your money, but we are asking if you believe in our message, if you believe in what we are doing, please click the like, and share button and do your duty in getting this information out to the world. Because it's only through people like you that we can actually share this information. And the more people that we get it out to, the more this universe can understand a new way of communication, a new way of thinking, a new way of connections. Once again, we thank you for your support. Please write in any questions or comments that you have, and we can put these in further docu-series episodes that we are doing. We are here to educate. We are here to listen. And we are here to connect.